Hello, hustlers. Wondering why you are broke? Then you have come to the right place. This video is more like a cheat sheet. You just follow this, and I guarantee you have to follow. I guarantee you that you will not be broke. In fact, you will become wealthy eventually following this method, process, list. Use it as a cheat sheet, whatever you call it as, that's fine. But the whole idea, as I've put a lot of work in this, and I information packed presentation, so you will learn the habits of the rich, so you are not going to be broke. Yeah, that's right, every single one of those millionaires, billionaires, rich people that you see, they all follow exactly what I'm going to talk about. Actually, this came out after the pandemic, and they say 64% of the millennials are living paycheck to paycheck. And this is weird. One third is, right? It's going to be 67% have opened new credit card since the pandemic. Look at this: 64% living paycheck to paycheck, and that 67% taking more credit card. That's the problem. Root of all evil. We'll dive in, we'll see why we are having this financial pandemic. I call it as financial pandemic, that we have this problem. How to solve this problem? Let's see. The main reason why you're broke is because you have a really bad financial set of habits. On top of it, you got all these big corporations. They are conditioning you psychologically, tricking you into making you spend more money. And the way they think is it's their money in your pocket. A lot of people, they think they're not rich, they're not wealthy, is because they're not making enough money. They're not earning enough. And that's a big myth. Of course, it's going to help you become wealthier much faster, but that's not the reason why you're broke. You are not broke because you're not making money. And the classic example is, I just picked this example, but you can go and find a whole bunch of other people. They've done wonderful things with their finances, even though they never made a lot of money. Now, this is a classic case of Ronald Reed, a 93-year-old person who died in 2016, and he was a janitor, I believe, at JCPenney's. And when he died, he donated, and he had a estate of $8 million. $8 million, all because of his financial discipline. He earned a janitorial wage, minimum wage, okay, but he spent very less. He was frugal, but he invested a lot, spent less, and he had all the habits, and so he became a millionaire. He was a millionaire. People didn't even know he was a millionaire. This is worth the weight in gold. Let me repeat that. This is about mindset and habits. And before we dive into it, you need to understand this one statement. This can change your life. Probably the most important slide in this whole presentation is this. And it says, what you can't measure, you can't improve. And my version of that, when I was managing people, I would say, what you don't measure, you don't control. What you don't control, you don't improve. And this is from Peter Drucker. And single-handedly, in the 60s, Japan was like 90s China from the point of quality of their products. So Peter Drucker single-handedly changed the quality of products produced in Japan. I think 60s or 70s, he went on a big trip and he mentored and trained a lot of people on the total quality management. And it's his saying. He says, what you can't measure, you can't improve. And that applies to our mindset. That applies to the financial discipline that we need to have. If you do not measure, you will not improve. And that's the fundamental change in your thinking and incorporate this, and be mindful of this the rest of your life. And once you start measuring, you will improve. And when I mean measure, what do I measure? You need to have two things in place, and you have to do it on a weekly basis, monthly basis. There are several millionaires, they do it on a daily basis, which is an overkill in my opinion. At least weekly or monthly, you need to have your personal income statement. Okay, this is the first thing. You need to have all that's coming in, and you need to list all that's going out without no exceptions. Everything that's coming in, everything that's going out, what's left over is what you get to keep. So your whole idea is to bring more. Whatever goes out, you have to minimize, so you spend less, so you get to keep more. Once you do that, that's your number one item. So for you to even improve, you have to measure, and the measurement comes from documenting what's coming in, what's going out. That's called as an income statement. And then you need to have the second statement, which is your balance sheet, your personal balance sheet, which is you have to list down all your assets and you have to list down all your liabilities. It's 2 columns, pretty simple. It's something very simple as this. You need to have 2 boxes, very simple, 2 simple boxes. This one would be called as assets, and this would be called liabilities. Very simple. You start typing all your assets. Your assets are all your assets. They all give you money. Liabilities, your car payments, basically your car. This, you got all those things that you bought on credit. All those are liabilities, and usually you will have a lot of people have a whole bunch here, just a few here, not even a few here. So they're all asset poor, liability rich. They are not rich. When you go look at a millionaire, this side will be very heavy. This side will be none too slim. Basically, this side is going to, let me see if I can just find a beautiful arrow. If not, I'm going to do this. This side will increase, should increase, and this, as it increases, this side will throw income. This side, if it should decrease, and if this decreases, it's not sucking so much of your money, so your spending decreases. Remember, an income statement, your income should increase, your expenditure should, what comes in should increase, what goes out should decrease. So you need more assets, less liabilities, more income, less spending. That's the name of the game. You need to understand that clearly. So you need to have income statement and the balance sheet. Next slide, I'm going to talk about actionable bullet point items. Only 6 steps, very simple. You need to first have the right mindset. Number 2, you have to cut all the noise, and you have to make a conscious decision that you will not be living paycheck to paycheck, and then understand the credit and the credit cycle and all those things, credit cards and your loans and payments and things like that. You need to understand that. And then here's where the magic really happens. 5, you do all these things to take enough money, you save enough money, and then your whole goal is to invest, not gamble, invest. And then you can automate a lot of those stuff. It's the foundational change that you'll be making, and this is really important. And this is easy. You don't have to do anything. You just have to understand, know this, okay? And then that will help you in the long term. What do you have to learn? The name of the game is invest. So you have to earn whatever you earn. If you spend less than that, you will have something left over that you can invest. Okay, if you earn a lot, spend less, you will have a lot to invest, so you can get your financial freedom way faster. And over time, that investment, the magic of compounding will kick in, and then you will be set. You will never be broke. So understanding this is critical. Oh yeah, you need to cut the noise. This is the second most important thing that you have to do. You have to be extremely cognizant of the fact that all these big corporations are after you. They don't care about you. All they care about is your money. You need to learn to say no to these guys, the fake gurus on the social media. They are showing and flashing the Ferraris and Lamborghinis and the McMansions and vacation in Aruba. Everything is rented, guys. They don't own. That's why they are fake gurus. Some of these guys, they don't even have money to pay the rent. They're getting evicted. Do not fall for these fake gurus. Both those situations, both these guys are after your money. But you have to take care of yourselves. You have to protect your wallet. So then the second conscious decision that you need to make is that you will never live paycheck to paycheck, regardless of what you make. Let's say you make only $1,000 a month. You need to live within that. You cannot go and spend more than what you can afford. Okay, I'm going to touch upon that. A lot of people will say, oh, well, it's only 15 payments of $100. I make $1,000 so I can spend $100. Totally wrong. You cannot think that way. What I mean by within your means is, if I want to buy something worth $2,000, my first question is, do I have money in the bank, $2,000 in my bank account that I can take, pay cash and buy? If the answer is no, then I cannot afford that. So you have to be extremely aware of that, and you have to be frugal and never fall for those payments. Never check a say $2,000 and you wanted to buy something worth $500. Yes, you can spend the $500 buy, but you're left with $1,500. You have to pay your rent, your utilities, all the other things. You need to have done your income statement so you know what's your real expense, monthly expense. If your monthly expense is $1,500, now $1,500 for that, and whatever you want to buy is $500, that there goes your $2,000. So you're basically living paycheck to paycheck. You cannot do that. You have to, name of the game is saving and investing. So you have to make more than what you spend, or other ways, whatever you make, you have to spend less than that, period. And then there is this rule of 48 that I use. I've been using it for a long time now. It's second nature. So what it says is, anything more than $48, you need to give 48 hours to think. Let's say if I wanted to buy something worth $50, I will say, okay, well, now it's $40. So officially it's beyond $40. I will not buy that item right now. I have to think for 48 hours. I have to sleep over it for 48 hours, and then I will come and buy. This has saved me thousands of dollars, because one, my rule will kick in, will say, oh, it's $50, it's more than 48, so I have to wait for 48 hours. I have to think, sleep over it, and then if I still have a need for it, a real need, then I'll come and buy 2 days afterwards. So out of sight, out of mind, and this 48 will force you, and also it gives you this delayed gratification. So if I have an itch, if I have an urge to buy something now, and if I leave 48 hours, if I can just withstand so much, I probably will not even have that urge to buy. So that has saved me thousands of dollars. You need to have that as a mind hack. And the next thing is, you need to understand your credit well. Like, one is you have to improve your credit and all those good stuff. What I'm talking about here is your anything that you buy on credit, meaning credit card, your loan, whatever has payments, you have to be careful. Like, if you've ever been to a car salesman, they will always trick you into whatever car you want, whatever upgrades you want, they'll give you everything for one low monthly payment. They always ask you, hey, what can you do? Oh, you can do 650 a month? No, you say 450 is all I can do. Oh, no problem. I'll get you this car for 450. You think, oh my God, you got a deal. No, you just paying through the nose that you just don't even know. The 40-month loan suddenly is a 72 months loan that you don't even know. That's the money that should be going into your savings account and your investments, but instead it's going to the car salesman. So they trick you into it. So you never look at the payments. From today on, you say, if someone says payment, you say, oh, no, I don't even want to know what the payment is. I don't care. Okay, all I want to know is what is the total cost. If you can totally afford it, that's okay. If you cannot, even if you can afford it, you need to ask whether it's do you need it, right? If it's a need or a want. Every once in a while, you can just reward yourself. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, if someone is trying to sell you with the payments as, hey, you can afford this because of this payment, never fall for it. That's a no-no. Number 5 is where the magic happens. This is truly where rich build all their wealth. This is exactly how they went from zero to multi-million dollars, is exactly doing this, which is investing, right? So you need to start investing today, and you have to invest wisely. You have to diversify, and I'm talking about not gambling. No. Investing is different. You need to understand the business, and these are not your FOMO trades, not a YOLO trade. Second thing is you have to be consistent with investing. And the third and the most important thing you don't have to do is, once you start investing and you consistently, regularly invest a substantial amount if possible, if not, whatever you do, eventually, if your portfolio has the right set of companies, not right set of stocks and real estate and all the good investment, the compounding will kick in. So it's mind-boggling to see how much you can make if you invest regularly, wisely. You don't need billions of dollars. You need a couple of $1 million. You will get that, but you have to learn how to invest, and you have to invest regularly. Those are the 3 most important things that you need to remember. And talking of which, the 6th one is where you need to take one extra step, which is, one time you do, it's very simple. Technology makes it possible. You have to automate. I took this credit card and I took my bank account and I linked both. Basically, 5 days before my due date, the credit card company will dip into my bank account. They will take the money, the total card balance. Once you do that, credit card is never a problem ever in your life. And if you don't have that as a problem, your credit is not getting screwed. So that helps you in all the ways. And when I buy something, let's say if I want to buy something worth $2,000, my first question is, do I have $2,000 in bank? Real cash in bank. That's my money in bank. And if my answer is yes, and if I need that, and I sit over it for 48 hours and rethink it, and yes, I need that, and I have money, and I slept through 48 hours to see if it's a need. Yes, I really need for this reason. If I can just answer clearly, then I buy, and here I don't even have to worry about it. That's automated. That's what you need to have. The second thing is, if you come up with your income statement and you know that the $2,000 is your absolute need for your $1,000 rent, $200 your utilities, $200 gas, etc., food, healthcare, whatever it is. Let's say if it's $2,000, this hypothetical example, and you make $5,000. Now what you need to do is the $2,000 will go into a checking account, and you need to go to your banker, your local bank, and ask them to create 2 more accounts. It's free. Ask them to create 2 more savings accounts, and you are not allowed to touch those 2 accounts. Okay, so you're only allowed to use your checking account to make all the payments. And then those two accounts, the account savings account number one and number two, you should have your employer process three payments, right? The 5,000, the 2,000 will go into the checking account, and the other 3,000, the 1,000 will go into one, 2,000 will go into the other one. The first one will actually build 6 months to 12 months worth of your uh, emergency fund, and the account two, which is getting all the overflow, will take that, will invest in some sort of a systematic investment plan. The operative word is systematic. You don't even have to do anything. It gets automatically swept in into that. And then let's say you have an index fund, something like S&P 500, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't have the discipline, if you can invest, that's okay. If you cannot invest, this is bare minimum. What you have to do is you have to have three accounts. One is chicken, that's all you can spend. The other two you're not going to touch. The second one, which is your savings account, is only the emergency fund. You're not supposed to touch. That's like when real emergency happens, you use that. Otherwise, you never touch it. You do not buy anything. Everything is coming out of your checking account. The savings account, you don't touch. The second savings account sweeps into your investment account, and then buy one, two, or three ETFs that you have. You allocate every month, month after month. You keep buying. It's out of mind, automatic. So you're not going to miss it. You're not going to take that money. Third thing, you invest repeatedly. You consistently. The system is doing it for you. So even if you forget for 3 months, it's happening in the background. So you don't even have to worry. And then it keeps building and snowballs over time. That will be a very big pile. And I'm saying ETF, index ETF is if you don't know investing, that's where you start. At least you do that. You don't. Now, if you're not saving, you're going broke. But once you start saving, once you put something, before you know, you'll have a lot of money. 5 years will go just like that, and then you will have a lot of money. So that's what you need to do. And that concludes my presentation. Once you do all these 6 items, I guarantee you, you will not be broke ever again. Even though I'm not your financial advisor, all I'm saying here is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm trying to educate you, and this is educational, and I'm not your financial advisor. I don't know your situation. So whatever guarantees, whatever I give for fun, earn, save, invest, and be prosperous. That's our mantra. So I wish you all the luck.